Hey Kishan, welcome in. Phil said he did an intro to this, but I'm not hearing anything on it, so I'll welcome everyone in the meantime as we're going to get to this NFC Divisional Championship. Welcome on in. Kishan, welcome in. Mitchell, glad to have you here. And certainly some exciting playoff action here as we head to the NFC to check out this divisional matchup between the red-hot 49ers and the incoming Buccaneers playing in California here. But big matchup, obviously, of two teams that had some success. Obviously, 49ers have been great. The Buccaneers came off of the GOAT. And switched out for Jimmy Garoppolo. So we'll see him here today. But the 49ers are going to start with the ball after receiving the first opening kickoff. Good evening to you, Kishan. Glad to have you all here, obviously. Nagy on Sports, and we appreciate the likes and subscribes, and we'll get this one going without further ado. Handoff right out the gate goes to McCaffrey. He's going to test that left side and only find 1 yard to gain there. And then another handoff to McCaffrey. A little more room to work with here as he was able to pick up a few more yards. Brings up a 3rd and 4. Snap is back. Purdy searching. He's got a man just past the line to gain. Oh, not quite. They're going to mark him just short. I thought he had that as McCaffrey was the target on the check down there. Phillips quickly in on the tackle, and I thought maybe he was past the line was McCaffrey, but they're going to say no. And so the punt unit is going to come out as the 49ers with a very early 3-and-out here. Punt is away and well covered by the 49ers. And so Jimmy Garoppolo is going to come out for his opening drive of the ball game in his first playoff appearance in our sim as a Buccaneer. They played very well with him at the helm. 1st and 10, little handoff. He's going to have some difficult sledding there for Fournette. He does pick up a yard out to the right side. Trips formation to the left. Back to pass. Garoppolo's got a man, and fortunate that wasn't picked, as it looked like the defender was in a better spot for that than the receiver, the intended receiver was. 3rd and 9. And now airing it deep downfield, but broken up before he could come away with it. That was Mike Evans, the intended target, but Evans unable to come away with that catch. And so back-to-back 3-and-outs here going either way, as we have a bit of a sluggish start, but some good defensive football for both teams. Hey, Earl, welcome in. Go Browns. Now the gun, running backs to either side for Purdy. Back to pass. Pressure coming, and he does unload it to his check down. That one is going to be good for 4. Brendan Ayuk, the receiver on that one. And Devin White in on the tackle. It'll fake the handoff to McCaffrey. Now going to McCaffrey over the middle. And he is going to fight for some extra yards. And this time they give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm not sure why they didn't do that last time. Last time they rolled him short. This time it looked like he was short and he got it. So not sure what's up with that. But they'll credit him with getting it over the line. And they'll give him the first down of the ball game here in the first quarter with 11:23 and counting. Well, keeper out to the outside for Purdy, but well read by the defense, and that one is going to be stopped well short as Davis was right there. A TFL loss of 2. So Purdy comes back on 2nd and 12 out of the gun. McCaffrey off on the right hip. He's got the snap. And he's scrambling for his life, and all the defenders are going to meet him right there at the same time. Officially credited half of the sack to Phillips. But that one rather ugly for Purdy as he took a big sack, 3rd and 24. Now over the middle, he's got his man. I believe that's Ayuk on the reception. Or excuse me, Samuel on the reception. And Deebo Samuel is going to get a few yards, but not nearly enough to get a first down for the 49ers. You know, Earl, that's a good question. I don't know. They're quick to discount his ability, even though we saw pretty clearly, you know, outside of the 2 really bad weather games. I mean, on tape he looks really good to me. So I'm you know, obviously he had some rust to knock off. As a big shot downfield is caught by Evans. That's the first down here for Garoppolo and these Buccaneers. As now they're in 49er territory and driving with a good opportunity early in this game. A little handoff to Fournette. Doesn't find much room to work with. He's going to pick up 2. But no, I think the talent didn't leave, obviously. I think he's very much, I'd expect him to be back in form, especially for the fact that he is going to have an offense that's specifically designed for him and exploiting his specific talents. And, you know, they've built weapons around him. That helps a lot. It's a big shot downfield to Evans again. Nicely threading the needle does Garoppolo. Nice ball downfield. That was beautiful. And Mike Evans is going to be in the zone after that one. 1st and goal now from the 9 for the Buccaneers. Back to pass. Garoppolo searching. Doesn't like what he sees, so he just unloads it underneath. But the ball comes out. It's loose. And that's going to be Thomas. Thomas is going down the sideline here. It looks like this is going to be a scoop and score. It is. Nobody even in the picture as he gets into the end zone. And the former Wolverine with the first point of the ball game, a defensive score for these 49ers. And just like that, first blood was achieved as it looked like the Buccaneers might be the ones to score first. But instead, the 49ers turned that to their success and managed to get onto the scoreboard first with an ugly fumble. Scoop and score there out on the perimeter. And Thomas just rumbled down the sideline with it. But, so to continue that discussion about Watson, I mean, we certainly saw his ability in those games, those last 6 games, as a Brown, even in a system that wasn't designed around him. And, you know, I think it bodes very well for what can be this coming season for Watson. And, you know, I think that the tune will start to change, and even in some sense has started to change, as they start to look at, you know, what Watson very likely is going to be this season. Hey, Phil. All right, so now under center is Garoppolo. 2 tight end formation off to the left, handoff. Out of that goes to Fournette. And Fournette's going to work for a few yards there. He is off to a bit of a slow start, only 5 yards so far for him. 2nd and 8. Garoppolo searching out to the outside. He's got a man out there, and the ball's fumbled again, and the 49ers are going to turn him over again. Just like that, 2 back-to-back drives, 2 back-to-back fumbles as the rookie tight end Washington drops it on the turf. Rookie out of Georgia, and you can see it. It doesn't look like the knee was down. It just got batted out of his hand. He was kind of stretching it out and batted out of his hand from there. And 2 quick fumbles turns to the 49ers, and here comes McCaffrey with a really nice run as he was making some shifty moves there. Just like that, the 49ers, you know, playing with some gas here, as they seem to have found the magic ticket for turning the ball over. The fumbles have been a big problem for these Buccaneers. Hey, welcome in, Diablo. It must be really late for you over there. Glad to have you in, though. A little handoff to McCaffrey. Nice little move, but he is going to be taken down rather quickly after it. 3rd and 7. And yes, crazy late for you, so probably a good idea to go back to bed and catch this one later. But thanks for popping in anyhow. As that one goes incomplete out on the perimeter. So the 49ers, after the nice fumble, this time not able to capitalize, as they are going to have to punt that one away. And that one, not a particularly good punt, goes out at the 25. Not what they were looking for. So Garoppolo is going to actually have decent field position, as the 49ers were looking to pin him back, but he actually has some good position to work with here. Now Garoppolo's got a man, but he just missed Evans. That would have been a house call. Completely overshot it. Oh man, he just wants that one back so bad, as Fournette's going to get swallowed up quickly after a run to 4. But just can't tell you how badly Garoppolo's going to want that back, as that would have been a difference maker in this ball game. That one fired downfield, but dropped. And so Buccaneers are going to have to punt, as Garoppolo is really, really beating him. Going to have to beat him, or is going to beat himself up over just an absolutely missed opportunity. He had Evans streaking with about 4 steps and just put it too far in front of him, where Evans couldn't get to it. So, Amari, a couple of things. First of all, Browns probably have obviously he came and visited the Browns, so there's certainly interest there on both sides, is what that typically means. But so they've probably talked to him and given him some kind of a initial offer, or what they're willing to do, kind of thing, to feel each other out. What I suspect is probably happening is he's, both shopping for, I think he took a visit with the Jets as well. There's a quick throw over the middle there to Ayuk. Is going to get a first down here for the 49ers. So shopping a little bit, took a visit with the Jets. He's going to see what other offers are out there, probably. Obviously, he left without being signed. But he's an older veteran. I think he's 36. So he's likely looking to skip out on the whole OTAs, maybe even training camp. The Browns are also probably interested in something like that, because they're getting a bunch of money freed up, as McCaffrey's going to catch Kittle is going to catch a nice pass over the middle, little drag route for 8, 2nd and 2. But likely once that money is freed up, is Purdy is going to carry this himself, and then he's going to fumble. Ball's just rolling around down there. Finally, the Buccaneers are going to get a fumble of their own, as that one was on the turf for an inordinately long period of time, and Purdy's got to be kicking himself here, as he should have just slid that one in, and instead fumbles as he was going to the ground, and that one was clearly out. Hey, welcome in, John. Welcome in, 504. And yes, John, your 49ers are off to a good start, although 2 fumbles, 1 scoop and score for the ex-Wolverine Thomas, or former Wolverine Thomas, down the sideline. Actually took away a score from the Buccaneers. They were driving nicely. And then a second fumble they couldn't capitalize on. And just now, the 49ers, and Purdy specifically, fumbled his own. Which now the Buccaneers are trying to take advantage of in this 7-0 ball game, and that's the start of the second quarter here. Pressure coming, they bring a little blitz, they throw it over the middle, just barely able to come away with it as Fournette, as the defender tried to jump the route, but Fournette was able to, with those sure hands, snag it away, and then got a bunch of extra yards out of it. Nicely done. Yeah, Earl, so many fumbles. I don't know. We've seen an awful lot of fumbles in this season. Not sure what exactly is going on with that, or why we're seeing quite so many, but it has been pretty high in terms of the number of fumbles we've seen in Sim this season. Back to pass, Garoppolo out to the outside. He's got his man, and that one is complete for 6, as Godwin collects that one out near the sideline. Garoppolo just able to get it over the outstretched hand of, I think that was Armstead. Now under center, 2nd and 4, handoff to Fournette, and he is going to be met by a swarm of those 49er defenders. Fred Warner in on that tackle. 3rd and 4. Now throwing out to the outside, he's got his man, and quickly to the ground is Evans. Mike Evans does make a nice catch, and again, if you're just joining us, Mike Evans had an opportunity for an absolute home run. Ball had 4 steps on the defense. The safety had taken a bad angle, and Garoppolo just missed him long. Just bad miss long on him because he just had all kinds of space and had the defense completely beat. As this one's going to the end zone, but broken up in the end zone. That was very nearly a touchdown. 2nd and 10 instead. Bunch formation to the right. Out to the outside here. Check down to Fournette, who is going to fight his way through tackles. Broken about 2 of them there. And that's going to pick up 9. What should have been a pickup of only about 1 or 2 ends up as 9. 3rd and 1 here, and Fournette's going to get the ball again right through the gap. He quickly threw down to the 5-yard line. What a rush that was, as he just got to that 2nd level so quickly, and he's starting to run nicely here as he really struggled early, but that one, excuse me, a very quick A-gap run, well blocked up front. As you can see, the defenders struggling to get off their blocks in there. So Kishin, linebackers are important in the wide 9 because they're going to be trusted with, filling the gaps. As the touchdown out to the outside for Tampa Bay, in their response, there's Gage on the edge, and Russell Gage with the touchdown, and he is going to tie this ball game up pending the extra point. Nice throw there from Garoppolo and finding Russell Gage in some space. But, yeah, Leonard Fournette, I like it. The linebackers are pretty important. They're going to be asked to read and react well. But the good news is with the wide 9, it opens up those spaces, makes it harder for the blockers to get to the linebackers because the gaps are wider, and then gives the opportunity for them to shoot those gaps. So long as they're reading it and reacting well and are quick on those read and react, when not having to think about it but reacting in the moment, it should be a beneficial scheme for our linebacker core. So I think we do have the personnel for it. And I think that they're going to look pretty good in this scheme. I think Schwartz is going to, Schwartz's scheme should be, a lot better than what we've seen in the past. As McCaffrey, working with some space out on the perimeter there, picks up 5. Looked like he might actually break that for a moment, but didn't quite get loose. 3rd and 5. Welcome. Over the middle, that one is going to be good for a first down, as Brock Purdy is now 7 of 8 for 45 yards. Ray McLeod on that reception. Yeah, no, Earl, I agree. Chubb really is poised to have a monster season for sure. Just opening up all those, the speedy receivers, opening up the pass lanes, stretching the field vertically and horizontally. That's just, that means that teams can't afford to stack boxes against this offense anymore. And that is going to be absolutely a wonderful thing to see for Nick Chubb, because talk about when you can't stack a box against that guy, what he's able to do even against stacked boxes. You have to think without the stacked boxes, that's opening up rush lanes in a big way, and he is absolutely going to exploit that. 3rd and 4. Out of the gun. Snap is back. Now unloading, and Purdy has his man, Ray McLeod again, and that one another first down for him. His 2nd reception of the ball game, now 16 yards. Hey, Soldier, welcome in. So, 7-7 tie ball game here in the second, 8:48 and counting. I'll hand off to McCaffrey. He's had a pretty good game so far. That one struggles to find much room. Pick up a 3, 2nd and 7. Out of the interesting little pistol look there. McCaffrey out to the edge. He's got all kinds of space out there, down to the 30, and he's going to be pushed out of bounds just past it, call it the 28. And San Francisco now 111 total yards on the game. So, Earl, I think he can be very, very good. I think he was underutilized, especially with I think he had 4 quarterbacks he worked with there in New York. So I think he can be excellent. Ironically, Zach Wilson was the one he was least successful with, even though that was their guy for the duration of the time that Elijah Moore was there. He actually had more success with White and some of the others. As that one complete to Kittle over the middle. Pick up a 3, 3rd and 7. I think he can be very successful, especially with Watson. I mean, he creates all kinds of separation. He's a tactician when it comes to route running, a lot like Cooper is. And then with his speed, he can be very dangerous. You can throw him in the slot. You can throw him outside. He's got all kinds of versatility, and he's got great hands. He's incredible hands. So I think he can be very, very successfh for the Browns. 4th and 7, a kick coming, and that one is up and good. So the 49ers are going to take a 10-7 lead here as Ruggles puts that one through the uprights to put the 49ers on top here in the second quarter of this NFC Divisional round. Hey, Marlo, welcome in. Good to have you. So that one returned out to the 19, which is where Jimmy Garoppolo, the free agent that came over to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers here in our sim and had some success, obviously, getting to the NFC Divisional round. But he's going to take over there. Out of the gun. No running backs with him. He's going to unload out to the outside. Got his tight end. And that one is going to be good for a first down after the big tight end able to secure that catch. Fortunate not to fumble it, as we've seen an awful lot of those. One from him earlier in this ball game, in fact. Now 1st and 10. We'll hand off to Fournette, fighting through it, would-be tackler, and then the second man there was able to bring him down after only 1 yard. Fournette again, some space out to the left side, and then met by the safety, 3rd and 5. I fully believe, Kishan, that Stefanski is not going to be the limitation on our offense at all. He is, unlike some, that's one of the things, it's ironic you say that. Bill O'Brien is like the opposite of what Stefanski does, and we saw what Watson could be even in a very generic, not play to the strengths of your players' offense like what Bill O'Brien was running in Houston. But we saw what Watson can do even in a system like that. The difference is that, unlike Bill O'Brien, Stefanski works very hard to play to the strengths of his players, and he's going to build his scheme around those strengths, and he's going to install his offense based on who his personnel are. Now, that's where last year Watson, what we saw of Watson is not truly a fair representation of what Stefanski and the Browns and Watson really will all be together, because that was not installed for him. That was, you had 11 games of Jacoby Brissett, which is, that's why you had an install that was designed around Jacoby Brissett, because you can't afford to go into a season and install an offense revolving around a quarterback that's only playing 6 games for you at the end of the season. That's not a way to go about NFL professional football. It's a terrible plan. So they had to install a Brissett offense, which meant that when Watson got to take over in the last 6 games, that install wasn't for him. So it'll be very different next season, and you'll see a lot more of what Watson brings to the table, highlighting his strengths, because Stefanski is very much of that mindset. Is this one a one-on-one out to the outside? And that one does go incomplete as Garoppolo had his man, but unable to secure the catch in the end zone, so does fall harmlessly to the turf. Garoppolo now backpedaling. He's going to finally throw this one away and bring up 4th down. Yeah, no, 100%. Exactly what Phil said. Stefanski very much elevates his quarterback's play. He works very hard to do that. That's one of the reasons why I have full faith and confidence in Stefanski as the play caller and as the head coach, and in making the intelligent move. And don't forget, yes, he calls the plays, but it's a very collaborative process. They work very hard to collaborate in that. So it's not like AVP's not doing anything there. It's not like, Bill Callahan is not heavily involved. It's not like Stump Mitchell is not heavily involved. They're all very much involved in that process, from the install to the game plan to the, actually in the moment calling the play. Yes, does Stefanski have the final call or the final say on what the play call will be? Sure. So we hit the 2-minute warning here in a 10-7 ball game in the first half. But yeah, no, I think very much so. That is a big thing that Stefanski brings to this, and is very important that is true for our team, because I think that is very valuable to have. 2nd and 5 now. Running back either side. He's good at the snap. Now unloading downfield. He's got a man wide open. That's Kittle out to the sideline there. 1:31. And Kittle takes them near to the red zone, as they're going to have a big chunk play there. And what a throw from Purdy to just put it right on Kittle, and that little flag right out to the outside, cover 2. Kind of caught the safety in some space, not able to get over to Kittle in time, and Purdy put it right on him. Not before the draft, after, like Phil says. When the draft happens, then we'll go back and make all the rosters correct for free agencies, trades, and the draft, and run it that way. 2nd and 10 now. Purdy searching, and that one nearly intercepted. Devin White had his hands on it, but was unable to control the ball. 3rd and 10. So it's Garoppolo in the sim in our virtual offseason, as this little screen pass out to McCaffrey makes a few man miss, dancing back there, not able to get to the 1st down, but man, he made a showing of it as he picks up 8 of the 10 yards he needed. A 4th and 2 coming, as the 49ers probably just going to kick the field goal here going into half, trying to take a 13-7 lead. Kick is up. And the kick is good. So the 49ers are going to take that 13-7 lead here, as Noah Ruggles is good again. Go Bucks. And we'll see. Probably we have 42 seconds left, only 2 timeouts. Seems pretty likely this is the score we're going to see into halftime. But let's see what they do here, what they choose to do, if they're going to try to get to the halftime whistle, or if they're going to try to make a show of it and try to get downfield. A lot will depend on this first play. Out of the gun, Garoppolo searching over the drag route over top, and that is going to take their first time out, as that did not pick up a lot of yards, only 4. And they're going to have to get a lot more in chunks than that if they want to get downfield to have a chance to score. This one is a chunk play. They're going to get it down to Mike Evans, and he is going to pick up a much more yardage there, but no huddle is quickly stymied by a timeout, 13-7, and not very many ticks left to try to get some points. 20 seconds to be exact, as they are all out of timeouts now, so really their only opportunity here is to try to get it to the end zone, maybe 2 or 3 plays to do so. This one out to the perimeter, that's where you want to put it, taking the least amount of time, only 4 seconds there, 16 ticks left at midfield, and they've got to try to get it downfield using the perimeters or into the end zone, one or the other one. This one does go to the end zone or to the perimeter, but it's going to be tackled inside, and the kicking unit not going to have time as he really needed to get out of bounds, but the defense did a great job keeping him in bounds for that tackle and keeping that clock ticking and then preserving the points off the board. So that's going to be the end of the first half, as we're going to take a quick look at the divisional rounds here in the playoff. We're watching this Tampa Bay-San Francisco game. Obviously, we got the Dallas, who has been red hot, taking on the Lamar Jackson-led Falcons, as voted on by you, the fans, on our Discord. As the opening kickoff return of the second half takes the ball out to the 20, which is where Garoppolo is going to start. So Marlo, we're going to hit all the games here in the postseason, as that one is dropped by Fournette. Second and 10. So we'll hit all the postseason, or all this sim postseason here. So not just the Browns games, as you can tell, because we're playing an NFC Divisional game here. But we'll watch them all the way through the Super Bowl. And that likely is going to take, a fair amount of time to the draft. Is that one out to the outside, found a man in some space, does Garoppolo. And that one worth a lot of yardage, as Gage had all kinds of space out on the edge. And Garoppolo found him there. As you're going to see him get a step, as the man stepped up, his man that was out there stepped up, Ward, up into the flat in that zone. And the safety, again, late to get out there. So well thrown into that zone and well schemed, as a early jump there from the Buccaneers lineman is going to back them up 5. So yeah, basically, Marlo, to answer that question, is that we're gonna have sims, the playoff sims. We typically hit two sims in a week, roughly on the high end. With everything going on, that tends to be where we're at. Maybe a few more, but we still have quite a few to go through here, as this is only the first of our divisional round, with the Browns having made it through the wild card. So we'll have the rest of the divisional rounds, the championships, and the Super Bowl yet. 3rd and 10, back to pass. He's got his man, as Gage, who's been very active in this ball game, gets another one, but that one not enough to pick up a first down. So yeah, Jordan Akins, one of the guys that reports on Houston, was raving about him and what he's going to bring to the offense with Deshaun here in Cleveland. Lots of good things said about him. Oh, it's a fake punt here. He's got a man wide open, but overshoots him. If he had just dropped it a little bit short, maybe even underthrown it, it might have been good for a first down, as the would-be defender was way deep, had to come way up for it, but the overthrow was the last place you wanted to put that, and so the fake punt does not succeed, and the 49ers are going to take over with good field position on their own 37. Back to pass. Purdy, he's got a man, and that one just tipped away from Kittle. He was fortunate that wasn't picked, as it kind of hung in the air there for a second and 10. Yes, Sean, welcome in, by the way. I didn't see you come in, but yeah, he is a hard worker from everything I've seen, and yes, that late bloomer, but he does absolutely provide that red zone threat for Deshaun, and that's, that big body target, can climb the ladder and make athletic catches, and yes, a hard worker. So I think he's going to be very good for this offense, in that tight end 2 role. So very excited about what he's going to bring to the offense. So a bit of a defensive struggle here in this one, as 3 early first half fumbles that all resulted in turnovers. One of them a scoop and score for the 49ers, with Thomas just going all the way down the sideline. But But otherwise, you know, a lot of offenses have both been struggling at times. They seem to be sputtering. They'll get a nice play followed by some clunkers as they're finding space, but then getting some inefficient and ineffective plays in between, which has been stalling out drives on both sides. 2nd and 11 here. Bunch formation of the right. Garoppolo searching. Was holding there. Fournette to the outside as he finds his outlet on a little swing pass. 3rd and 7 now, as that one's only going to pick up 3. Leonard Fournette's had a pretty nice game. Been active both in the run and pass game. He's found him in the outlet there a few times, and then also some nice runs from him. This pressure coming from the outside all the way around in a big arc on the sack. Excuse me. As Garoppolo is just going to eat that one. I don't think he saw him coming. And a big sack for these 49ers as that pocket was holding nicely, but nobody there to pick up the free man out to the outside. That's where having a running back in to block might have been a good idea there. And so the Buccaneers are going to have to punt. So 49ers are going to take over with excellent field position here as coach is giving McCaffrey a few things he'd like to see, I suppose. But the 49ers starting right at the midfield stripe. And that's where Purdy is going to fire his first pass to a wide open Ayuk who drops it. Ugly. 2nd and 10. Yeah. Yes, you did mention that earlier, Sean. The Cottrell Clark for slot quarterback out of Louisville. As Purdy is going to take a really ugly sack. Vita Vea with half of that one, and he's going to celebrate a bit there after a big sandwich sack of Purdy. You know, Earl, that's a good question. Obviously, he got paid, so, you know, you could make that argument that, you know, he's still with the Giants and got paid by the Giants, and, you know, by that logic, he must be better than Mayfield. I don't know that I would say in practice he's actually better than Mayfield. But in theory he is, based on just the fact that he got paid and he's with his original team still. But which you can't say of Mayfield. But no, I don't think Daniel Jones is that great either. He certainly has some limitations in his play, but I don't know. You know, he certainly got paid, so you can't argue that part. 2nd and 4 is a run from Fournette, just refusing to go down, and picks up an extra 6 yards after getting the first down there. 301 total yards now for the Buccaneers. That's funny. I like that, John. That's good. And up the middle, Fournette. This time he's not going to have much space to work with. He does pick up 4, though, falling forward in that tackle. No, I think Mayfield is better than Kenny Pickett, personally. But it's a personal opinion, I suppose. But I don't think that Kenny Pickett is particularly great. And we'll see what he becomes. But, you know, the Steelers have all their eggs in that basket right now. And, you know, if I were the Steelers, I don't think I'd be very happy about it. But I suppose they see the upside. And they're interested in him being the guy going forward. So, 1st and 10 now. Fake the handoff there to Fournette. Just taking way too long back there, giving Kinlaw all kinds of time to get home on that sack. You just need to get rid of that one. Garoppolo very indecisive in the pocket, trying to roll out of something, but right into Kinlaw as he just gets decked there, shoulder lowered, and the boom train a-coming. Yes, Kishan Okoronkwo is a little undersized for an edge, but actually, especially for the Browns had been trying to put opposite of Miles, but a lot of discussion about that because he is a faster, more athletic, speedier guy on the opposite edge. That actually may be what works better with Myles Garrett because, I mean, just by virtue of being on a side, Myles Garrett creates pressure because quarterbacks will, by default, start working their way away from the side that Myles is on. And if you've got a more athletic, faster, twitchier guy out on that other side who's a little bit smaller but able to basically take advantage of the fact that quarterbacks are getting flushed hardly without thinking about it because of Myles being on the opposite side of that, that may end up causing a lot of extra production for a guy like 007. So very excited to see how that works out in practice, but there's a lot of potential upside there. Yes, he potentially is a little bit undersized from what you might expect from a DN, but I think that's actually going to work to his advantage. And talk about a guy that works really hard and has a really nice set of moves. Speaking of nice moves, McCaffrey just making somebody look silly out there. He's done a lot of that in this game, and his nice day continues here. But 007 does have a nice kind of set of moves that he has developed. Took him a little while to get going, but especially in those last few games as Houston, the full-time starter in Houston, his production was through the charts. He actually ended up at the end of the season with a higher pressure rate by 0.1% than Myles for third best in the NFL. So you're going to have the third and fourth best pressure rate rushers in the NFL from last year on your squad. And there ain't nothing wrong with that. Pressures are huge in the NFL. An undervalued stat, as Kittle is going to receive that one and pick up some yardage, getting them within one. Yeah, that really was. Run CMC with a really dirty move. Third and one here, just airing it out, and Christian McCaffrey, speaking of, just not able to catch that one, so the 49ers will have to punt in this somewhat anemic ball game, and a lot of punts in this one. Still only a 13-7 ball game here. Yeah, exactly, Sean. All those sacks that Clowney, you felt like you probably should have had if you had a bit speedier, more athletic guy, a little better side to side, a little higher on the RAS score, kind of, the ability, quick agility in space stuff. If he was a little bit smaller, probably has some of those kind of things, and probably picks up a lot more of those sacks opposite Myles. So I think that's exactly the idea there. Yeah, no, absolutely, Sean. Alex Wright will be in the rotation. I think they very much like what he, how he's developing and what his upside is. They think he's going to be a big part of that D-line going forward, and he will be a big rotational piece in there. I think especially they like what he does on the edge. It's the full start here. It's going to back them up 5. Garoppolo is now going to have to work with a 1st and 15. But no, I agree. Alex Wright is a big part of their plans going forward. Gage again. Godwin on that one. 2nd and 11. 4-man rush, pressure coming, and he's just going to throw. Actually, almost had Gage, but I think he was actually trying to throw it out of bounds. But Gage had a very much circus chance anyway. Didn't catch it, but circus chance to try to catch it. He went up for an impressive attempt anyway. 4th and 11, and so Buccaneers are going to punt yet again. Earl, we've talked about that in the channel. Yes, the narrative has been that it's Cleveland's fault that Lamar is probably done playing for the Ravens. But we've talked about that here, and as have others, that's actually not the case. It seems to be like a massive mismanagement on Baltimore's part, where they could have signed Lamar when, well, they could have done it first if they wanted to, but they didn't. That's when he would have been cheapest. That's what AB is so good with, is getting those early contracts when guys are, the market hadn't been set yet. So you have, the opportunity to sign him for real value. That's when AB likes to strike, which I appreciate from AB. That's one of the things he's really good at. The other, so they had that opportunity, but then after Josh Allen got signed, all they really need to do is match the Josh Allen money, maybe add a few mil, sweeten the deal kind of thing. And then they'd have had their franchise guy that they've clearly built that offense around, that they clearly expected to be their guy going forward, but they hesitated. They didn't sign him. They're like, they took a bet basically on the market that the market was going to go down, and anybody who follows football, NFL football, seriously knows NFL contracts for quarterbacks, betting against that market, betting for it to go down is a bad bet. It's not going to happen that way. It just does not happen that way. And what's not talked about with all of this, because there's this narrative that somehow guys that, you have to do the Tom Brady thing and take that team-friendly contract, but nobody's talking about the fact that Mahomes, who was a $50 million cap hit against Kansas City Chiefs, against their cap, that he just won a Super Bowl. So, you can't say that a guy that costs that much against the cap that you can't get it done. It's been done. That's not, and somehow that's not even part of the narrative. It's crazy to me. As Purdy is finally going to choose to slide this time. That was a good choice there. Last time he tried to run just like that, he fumbled. So, good choice there. Maybe learn from the last time. Empty set for Purdy. Three-man rush and all kinds of time. He's going to find a man finally out to the outside. That one good to Deebo Samuel and gets them down to the 6. Yeah, exactly, Sean. They were being cheap. And they went and ruffled the feathers of Lamar. They pissed him off. They went and paid everybody but Lamar. And especially a guy that had come, partway through the season, and then, in Roquan Smith, who they then signed to a big deal as a linebacker. Like, you're not going to pay your franchise quarterback, but you're going to pay a guy who's only been here half a season. Yeah, he's a great linebacker, but he's also not a premier position, so, it's not like he adds 10 wins to your win column like Lamar Jackson does. So why are you paying that guy, but you're not going to pay Lamar? I don't understand it. As McCaffrey's going to get into the end zone there pretty easily. Big hole there on the little pin pole cups. That Buford coming in on the pole. And McCaffrey with a big touchdown. That one, had a dearth of scoring in this ball game for a long period, but the 49ers get it done on that drive, and they're going to go for 2. Purdy into the end zone, too easy, as Deebo Samuel is again active on this one and able to snag that 2-point conversion. So now a 21-point game here. 21 points for the 49ers. 21-7 ball game. Kind of a ho-hum score line after, a fair amount of field goals and the 2-point conversion. Another fumble here. The 49ers are going to pick it up. That's the third. A scoop and score here. And that one, a special teams touchdown for my favorite, the fullback. Juszczyk with the touchdown, getting some special teams love as the fullback. I love seeing it. Just Johnny on the spot, able to scoop and score. What a shot that was. Wow, ball just was completely ejected there off of that hit, and the 49ers with a huge swing in their favor after scoring a touchdown. They're going to get an immediate back-to-back score. and make it a 28-7 ball game. And with the way the Buccaneers have been on offense and how good the 49ers defense has been, you kind of have to feel that's going to be all the 49ers need. Earl, I think the reason that Wills is getting so much hate is because of a little bit of body language, where I guess people think that he doesn't try hard or that he gives up on plays, and sure you probably put together a cut tape of just about any player in the NFL and try to say that they give up on plays, because at times you're just out of the play. Sometimes Wills did give up on plays a little earlier than he really needed to, and I'm sure they're going to work on that, and he's going to work on that. But the thing is, he's got incredible talent. He's been very, very good when we've needed him to be very good. He hasn't been perfect. His biggest issue is consistency, but if he can build that consistency, the talent is there. He's been a solid first-round draft pick. I have no complaints with Jed Wills and what he has been for this team as the left tackle, and I think that's going to be the case, going forward, and they've got something to build with there. If they build that consistency out the right way, and if he continues to work towards it, he will be a foundational left tackle for the Browns, because he's got the talent to do that. Throw to the inside, Mike Evans, and a flag. I'm wondering what that was about. Maybe a face mask based on the late. Yep, face mask on that one. Interesting. He was already kind of on the ground. Not sure why Ambry Thomas came in and grabbed the face mask on that one. But, of course, earlier, Ambry Thomas was the one with the scoop and score for this 49ers defense, followed by the Juszczyk scoop and score on special teams. Of course, defense and special teams accounting for 14 of these 28 points for the 49ers, and that's been really the difference in this ball game, is that the 49ers have capitalized on 2 of their turnovers, whereas the Buccaneers have not. Little screen set up here for Fournette, but not going anywhere on that one. Yes, Callahan is best in the business, in my opinion, and we have reaped the benefits of that for as long as he has been in Cleveland, and I hope he stays for as long as possible, because he has been just such a great hire for Cleveland. I mean, he's been massive. Yeah, I agree. He's not great yet, but he can be that. He can get there. He'll get there. I have faith that Jed Wills will get there. He just, he needs to build a consistency, and it's going to take some time, but I think he can get there. His ceiling is still very high. Good question, Earl. A lot of folks have said that the Jets game was the beginning of the end for Woods, but no, I don't think just the Jets game. He might have been fired even if that was still a win, if they hadn't totally blown that game inexplicably. But even if it was a convincing win, there was enough other things going wrong on that season for the defense that it's very possible that Joe Woods still would have been let go. 4th and 1 will bring out the punt unit for the 49ers with 8:20 left in this ball game, but this one is all going 49ers way as they have solid momentum, and those 2 back-to-back touchdowns made all the difference, and this one just blew it wide open. Yeah, that's true, Sean. I agree with that statement that his run blocking is markedly improved, and that when he's got elite rush talent opposite him, he does struggle with some of those higher level moves. But he has shown progress on that front where he's taking better sets more consistently. As a big right up the middle blitz coming Actually, I don't think that was a blitz. I think that was a stunt. But Armstead getting home quickly. No, not even a stunt, just whiffed. They're setting up a screen. That's what was going on. Missed that totally. They let Armstead right through, and then the screen just gets absolutely blown up as Garoppolo got buried by Armstead. Welcome back, 504. Yep, I agree, Kishan. That's true. Not much room there for Fournette. Not sure why you're running it in a 28-7 ball game, but it feels like you need to be passing this ball. I suppose you probably are a little, I don't know if you just don't trust Garoppolo here or what, but running the ball is probably not the answer at this juncture, especially on a 3rd down and 19. So, 4th and 19, and instead the Buccaneers are going to punt this one away and set the 49ers up with excellent field position. Again, 6:29 left in the ball game, but it feels all but over here as the 49ers really only need to run out the clock. They've got great field position, and any more points on this, it's just really icing on the cake at this point, as it's, the Buccaneers haven't been able to get much of anything going. So Purdy's going to take that little option keeper for 6. Winfield in on the tackle. McCaffrey with carry. He'll pick up some yardage there, and now they call it 1 yard, a 3rd and 3 coming. McCaffrey again in the zone, huge hole. He's got all kinds of space, and then tackled there at the 2nd level. As he picks up that 1st down, and then some. The new free agent signing in Tampa coming to make that tackle. And Chauncey Gardner. Free agent safety. I think I said tackle, I meant safety. And or nickel corner. He's kind of that hybrid between the two. First and 10 now. Ace formation, bringing the tight end in motion. McCaffrey with the handoff, and he'll pick up 3. Now trips, spreading it out a bit. Trips to the right, out of the gun for Purdy. Taking the handoff from McCaffrey. Another option keeper for Purdy. But this one well read by the defense, and not much doing. So going in with an empty set on 3rd and 6 here. Not sure why you're doing this with this kind of lead, but he's going to throw oddly to nobody. More defenders in the area than would-be receivers, and a 4th and 6 coming, and the 49ers will attempt a long field goal. This one up, and it is good. So the 49ers, Noah Ruggles, going to extend the lead here, 31-7. And this one, with 3 minutes and 20 seconds left in this ball game, is very much over. So 3:15 left in this one. Kit Nagy here for Nagy on Sports. Very much appreciate you all being on. Appreciate the subscriptions. Everybody who hasn't had a chance to subscribe would appreciate that very much. If you'd like to hit the like button on this or any of our videos, we'd appreciate that as well, as those seem to be something that YouTube likes to see to get our videos out there. So appreciate those. And then if you haven't had a chance to join our Discord, talk all things Browns, everything NFL, and other sports in between Sims, to join the community of Nagy on Sports, Nagy Nation, there on our Discord. The link to that is in the description of this or any of our videos. We'd love to have you there, as you can check that out and vote on things like who to sign in free agency. Is Evans with a huge catch course, this is too little too late, but that one was kind of fun. First and goal now from the 7 for some pity points potentially here. Fournette's going to try for some and then take them down to the 2-minute warning. Second and goal from the 3. But get to vote on things there on our Discord. Get to talk with us. Get a chance to be notified as touchdown here for Tampa Bay. And they're going to go for 2 in this huge deficit. Only a minute 54 left in the ball game, so this really is meaningless. And a sack anyway. So the 2-point conversion is no good. 31-13. Guess they were going for that palindrome score. But certainly love to have you there on the Discord. Opportunity to get notifications that are a little bit more reliable than hitting the bell here in YouTube. They'll be sent out typically well in advance of our sims, so you get an idea of when to expect them to go live on the channel, and get notified there by Discord. Not only with some advanced warning, but also with a slightly more reliable system to get those push notifications out. Yes, Phil says he's excited to see the Cowboys-Falcons sim. I'm also excited. Of course, speaking of the channel for Discord, that's where we voted on free agency. One of the things we had you all vote on was where to send Lamar, because we didn't think he was going to be in Baltimore anymore. Although we did have Baltimore as one of the choices, but you all voted on Lamar going to Atlanta, so that's why Atlanta has had a lot of success this season, as bringing in a franchise quarterback into that roster has brought a lot of success for them, as this one mercifully winds down to 0-0, a minute 11 left on the clock. McCaffrey with a carry and brings up a 3rd and 3. But so that's why Lamar is now in Atlanta, thanks to that vote, and he brought them some success, got them to the playoffs, and they're going to take on a red-hot Dallas Cowboys team who went something like 15-2 in the regular season. They had a great season and were really, really good, so that should be a very good game. Excited to see it. So that's going to take us to the final whistle of this ball game, a 31-13 score, as the 49ers are going to win this NFC Divisional game. Big win for them, and they're going to advance in this playoffs as Brock Purdy, yet again, with some success in the postseason, taking these 49ers yet further. Yes, exactly what Phil says. That's exactly what we should expect to see from Schwartz. He's going to have his guys working hard and playing hard, so big deal there. So we're going to take a quick look here at the stats of this ball game, as Phil is going to take us through, or did in the prior recording. So that should be coming up here in a moment. Here we go. So Jeremy Garoppolo, 32-46 for 355, 2 touchdowns for a net for 94 yards on his 25 carries with one fumble. McCaffrey with a whole bunch of rushing as well, 71 yards and a touchdown, at least is what I thought I saw. Kittle with 53 yards at 13.2 a pop, a whole bunch for Gage and some of those other guys as well. I didn't catch all those names. So look at some of the sack numbers, kind of well spread out throughout that defense in those sacks. So all kinds of sacks coming all around, but well spread out. A bunch of half sacks in there. I mean, that got pressure in consistently back there as we go quickly through those stats. And we'll take one last look here at the playoff picture here at the end, as it's going to come up here on your screen before we go. But thanks as always for being with us, and as always at the end of this one we'll say go 49ers, and as always, go